Hello YouTube. Right now I'm working on a project, ignore that, a paper for one of my college classes about the dedication in Don Juan by Lord Byron. And even though there's no one watching this, I figured I'd read it aloud to you, that way I can pretend I have an audience. So, dedication from Don Juan. Bob Southey, you're a poet, poet laureate, and representative of all the race, although 'tis true that you turned out a Tory at last. Yours has lately been a common case, and now, my epic renegade, where are ye at? With all the Lakers in and out of the place, a nest of tuneful persons to my eye, like 24 blackbirds in a pie. Which pie being opened they began to sing, this old song a new simile holds good, a dainty dish to set before the king, a regent who admires such kind of food, and Coleridge too has lately taken wing, but like a hawk encumbered with his hood, explaining metaphysics to the nation, I wish he would explain his explanation. You, Bob, are rather insolent, you know, at being disappointed in your wish to supersede all warblers here below, and be the only blackbird in the dish, and then you overstrain yourself or so, and tumble downward like a flying fish, gasping on deck, because you soar too high, Bob, and fall, for lack of moisture, quite a dry, Bob. And Wordsworth, in a rather long excursion, I think the quarto holds 500 pages, has given a sample from the vastly version of his new system to perplex the sages. 'Tis poetry, at least by his assertion, and may appear so when the dog-star rages, and he who understands it would be able to add a story to the Tower of Babel. You, gentlemen, by dint of a long seclusion from better company, have kept your own at Keswick, and through still continued fusion of one another's minds at last have grown to deem as a most logical conclusion that poesy has wreaths for you alone. There is a narrowness in such a notion which makes me wish you'd change your lakes for an ocean. I would not imitate the poetry, though, nor coin my self-love to so base a vice, for all the glory your conversation brought, since gold alone should not have been its price. You have your salary, was for that you wrought, and Wordsworth has his place in the excise. You're shabby fellows, true, but poets still, and duly seated on the immortal hill. Your bays may hide the baldness of your brows, perhaps some virtuous blushes, let them go. To you I envy neither fruit nor boughs, and for the fame you would engross below, the field is universal and allows scope to all such a field as the inherent glow. Scott, Rogers, Campbell, Moore, and Crabb will try against you the question with posterity. For me, who wandering with pedestrian muses contend not with you on winged steed, I wish your fate may yield ye, when she chooses, the fame you envy and the skill you need, and recollect the poet nothing loses in giving to his brethren their full meed of merit, and complain of present days is not the certain path to future praise. He that reserves his laurels for posterity, who does not often claim the right reversion, has generally no great crop to spare it, he being only injured by his own assertion, and although here and there some glorious rarity rise like Titan from the sea's immersion, the major part of such appellants go to God knows where, for no one else can know. In fallen, in evil days, on evil tongues, Milton appealed to the avenger, Time. If Time the avenger excretes his wrongs and makes the word Miltonic mean sublime, he deign not to belie his soul in songs, nor turn his very talent to a crime. He did not loathe the sire to laud the son, but closed the tyrant hater he begun. Thinkest thou could he, the blind old man, arise like Samuel from the grave, to freeze once more the blood of monarchs with his prophecies, or be alive again all hour, with time and trials in those helpless eyes, and heartless daughters, worn and pale and poor? Would he adore a sultan? He obey the intellectual in a cassoulet? Cold-blooded, smooth-faced, placid miscreant, dabbling at seek young hands in Aaron's gore, and thus for wider carnage taught to pant, transferred to gorge upon a scissor shore, the vulgarest tool that tyranny could want, with just enough of talent and no more, to lengthen fetters by another fixed, and offer poison long already mixed. An orator of such trash of praise, ineffably legitimately vile, that even its grossest flatterers dare not praise, nor foes all nations condescend to smile. Not even a sprightly blunder's spark can blaze from that irksome grindstone ceaseless toil that turns and turns to give the world a notion of endless torments and perpetual motion. A bungler, even in its disguised trade, and botching, patching, leaving still behind something of which its masters are afraid, states to be curbed and thoughts to be confined, conspiracy or congress to be made, cobbling at manacles for all mankind, a tinkering slave-maker who mends old chains with God and man's abhorrence for its gains. If we may judge of matter by the mind, emasculated to the marrow, it hath but two objects, how to serve and bind. Deeming the chain it wears even men may fit, Atropius of its many masters, blind to worth as freedom, wisdom as to wit, fearless because no feelings dwell in ice, its very courage stagnates to a vice. Where shall I turn me not to view its bonds, for I will never feel them? Italy, thy late reviving Roman soul responds beneath the lie this state thing breathed over thee. Thy clanking chain and errands great, yet green wounds have voices, tongues to cry aloud for me. Europe has slaves, allies, kings, armies still, and South he lives to sing them very ill. Meantime, Sir Laureate, I proceed to dedicate an honest simple verse this song to you, and if in flattering strains I do not predicate, 'tis that I still retain my buff and blue. My politics are as yet all to educate, posses so fashionable too, to keep one creed a task grown quite Herculean. It is not so, my Tory ultra Julian.